There was a time when I looked in the mirror, and the face staring back at me felt like that of a stranger. I would stand there, searching for some trace of the person I used to be, but all I saw was someone weighed down by years of neglect and disappointment. The reflection was familiar, yet distant, like an old friend I'd lost touch with. I didn't recognize the man staring back. His eyes looked tired, his shoulders slumped, and there was a heaviness in his expression that I couldn't ignore. It was as if the mirror was showing me not just my face, but every burden I'd been carrying. It wasn't just the number on the scale that haunted me, though that was part of it. It was the exhaustion that seeped into my bones, the unhappiness that clung to me like a shadow, and the overwhelming sense of being trapped in a body that no longer felt like my own. Every morning I woke up already tired, already defeated, wondering how I'd let things get so far out of hand. Every day felt like a struggle, as if I was moving through life with a weight strapped to my back. My energy was gone, my confidence had vanished, and I felt isolated even in a crowded room. The physical weight I carried was matched only by the mental and emotional burden that seemed to grow heavier with each passing day. Sometimes I'd find myself flipping through old photographs, seeing a version of myself that was full of life, discipline, and hope. I'd stare at those images almost in disbelief and wonder how I'd let things slip so far. The gap between who I was and who I'd become felt impossible to bridge. On the outside, the world saw someone who seemed strong, put together, maybe even successful. But inside, I felt weak, lost, and completely out of control. It was a secret struggle, one I kept hidden behind forced smiles and polite conversations. I started turning down invitations, making excuses to avoid social gatherings, and hiding from challenges that once excited me. The frustration built up inside, growing louder and more persistent, until it nearly broke me. I felt like I was living in a prison of my own making, watching life pass me by from behind invisible bars. For a long time, I tried to ignore the truth. I told myself it was just a phase, that things would get better on their own. But deep down, I knew I was running, from my problems, from my pain, and most of all, from myself. You can only run for so long before you have to stop and face what you've become. Eventually, there comes a moment when you have to face yourself. You have to look in the mirror, really look, and decide that you're no longer willing to live this way. That moment is terrifying, but it's also the first step toward change. It's the point where you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for your life. That raw, honest confrontation with yourself is where the real journey begins. It's not about blaming yourself for the past, but about accepting where you are and daring to believe you can become someone new. It's about finding the courage to admit you're not okay, and the strength to do something about it. The process isn't pretty. It's messy, uncomfortable, and sometimes painful. But it's necessary, because only by facing the truth, by meeting the man in the mirror head-on, can you begin to rebuild, to heal, and to rediscover the person you were always meant to be. When you're desperate for change, it's easy to get swept up in the hope that there's a simple solution out there. You look in the mirror, feeling frustrated and defeated, and you start to believe that maybe, just maybe, the next thing you try will finally be the answer you've been searching for. You'll believe anyone who promises a shortcut because the idea of instant results is so tempting. I tried the pills, the shakes, the teas, and every new product that claimed to melt fat away without effort. My shelves were filled with powders and bottles, each one representing a new wave of hope. The miracle diets, the strict meal plans, the one simple trick articles, none of them worked for long. Each time I'd follow the rules, see a little progress, and then watch it all slip away as soon as I stopped. The weight always came back, and with it came a deeper sense of disappointment. I felt like I was failing, like there was something wrong with me for not being able to stick to these plans. Each failed attempt chipped away at my confidence and left me feeling more hopeless than before. These quick fixes never address the real problem or teach you anything lasting. They're designed to sell you a dream, not to help you build a foundation for real sustainable change. The advertisements make it look so easy, but they never show you what happens after the excitement fades. They prey on your hope, on your vulnerability, and on your desire for a better life. But real transformation doesn't come in a bottle or a box. It comes from knowledge, discipline, and consistency. Qualities that can't be bought, only earned through effort and time. I started to realize that the only way forward was to stop looking for shortcuts and start building real habits. I had to stop chasing easy answers and accept that real change would take hard work, patience, and a willingness to learn from my mistakes. I began setting realistic goals, tracking my progress, and focusing on small, daily improvements instead of dramatic overnight results. No more shortcuts, just a commitment to the right way, not the easy way. I started meal prepping, making time for exercise, and surrounding myself with people who supported my journey. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real, and it was working. That mental shift was everything. For the first time, I felt empowered instead of desperate. I realized that I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to be consistent and kind to myself along the way. I became a student of my own body, learning what it truly needed, listening to its signals, and making adjustments based on real feedback instead of empty promises. I sought out real knowledge from experts and from my own experiences and started to trust the process. The empty promises lost their power when I decided to find my own truth. I let go of the quick fixes and embraced the journey, knowing that every step forward was a victory, no matter how small. That's when things started to change, not just on the scale, but in my mindset, my energy, and my confidence. Real change took time, but it was worth every moment. Every transformation starts with a single moment of clarity. Mine came late one night after another regret-filled meal. I was tired of breaking promises to myself. So I made a new one, to show up for myself every day, no matter what. It wasn't about a number on the scale, it was about respect, honesty, and discipline. Motivation fades, but discipline is a choice you make daily. I stopped seeing myself as someone trying to lose weight and started thinking like an athlete in training. That mindset shift turned struggle into challenge, sacrifice into investment. I wasn't depriving myself, I was building a better me. This promise became my anchor. From that day forward, everything changed. I built my new life one disciplined choice at a time. That's how real transformation begins. People think weight loss happens in the gym, but the real battle is won in the kitchen. I learned the hard way. You can't out-train a bad diet. My first step was a ruthless kitchen clean-out. Anything processed, sugary, or artificial had to go. I restocked with lean proteins, green vegetables, and whole foods. The rule was simple. If it's made in a plant, avoid it. If it comes from a plant, eat it. Controlling your environment is non-negotiable. If junk food is in your house, you'll eat it eventually. Willpower is limited, so make good choices easy and bad ones hard. Your kitchen should support your goals, not sabotage them. Treat it like your new gym. Your first workout? Clean it out. That's where real change starts. After cleaning out my kitchen, I had to relearn how to eat. For years, food was my comfort and reward. I had to break that cycle. I started seeing food as fuel, not therapy. My meals became simple lean protein, fibrous veggies, healthy fats, no calorie counting, just quality and consistency. I cut out all liquid calories, no sodas, juices, or sugary coffees, just water, lots of it. Consistency was the goal, not perfection. I ate the same few meals for months, eliminating decision fatigue. It wasn't boring, it was focused. The simpler my routine, the easier it was to stick to. I was fueling my body for the mission ahead, getting my life back. That's how you build momentum. Diet alone can help you lose weight, but true transformation requires movement. Exercise isn't punishment, it's a celebration of what your body can do. I started small, just showing up was a victory. My planned strength training and HIIT cardio. Lifting weights built muscle, which turned my body into a fat-burning engine. HIIT cardio torched calories and boosted my metabolism. Progress was slow at first, but every week I got stronger. The biggest change wasn't physical, it was mental. The gym became my sanctuary, a place to prove I could do hard things. That mental toughness carried over into every part of my life. More energy, more confidence, more control. I wasn't just building muscle, I was building character. That's the real reward. Intermittent fasting was my game changer. It's not about starving, it's about being strategic with when you eat. I followed a 16-8 protocol fasting for 16 hours, eating within an 8-hour window. No breakfast, first meal at noon, last meal before 8 p.m. My body adapted quickly, and my energy soared. Fasting forced my body to burn fat for fuel and helped regulate hunger hormones. It simplified my day and made me more mindful about what I ate. Combined with clean eating and exercise, the fat melted off. I felt better, had stable energy, and learned the difference between real hunger and habit. Fasting became a cornerstone of my transformation. This journey isn't a straight line. There will be days you want to quit. Motivation fades, but discipline keeps you moving. I had tough days, tempted by old cravings, but I had a system. I reminded myself why I started and leaned on my support system. My wife was my rock, celebrating wins and lifting me up when I struggled. You need someone in your corner. Don't do this alone. If you slip up, forgive yourself and get right back on track. Don't let one mistake become a bad week. The key isn't perfection, it's resilience. Get up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Every comeback is a victory. That's how you win the long game. Stay in the fight. We've talked about the pain, the plan, and the process. We've explored the challenges you've faced, the setbacks that made you question yourself, and the dreams that kept you moving forward, even when things felt impossible. You've listened, you've reflected, and you've imagined what life could look like if you made a change. But none of it matters until you act. All the knowledge, all the motivation, all the support in the world won't make a difference unless you take that first step. Action is what transforms hope into reality. The power to change your life is already inside you. It's not something you have to find from someone else. It's been there all along, waiting for you to trust it. Every time you've overcome something hard, every time you've gotten back up, that was your strength showing up for you. Look in the mirror, see your potential, your strength. See the person who's survived every tough day so far. See the person who is capable of so much more than they realize. You are not broken, you are becoming. You're not defined by your past or the number on the scale. You're not the sum of your mistakes or the labels others have given you. You are a work in progress, and every day is a new chance to write your story. You're defined by the choices you make now, the decision to try again, to set a new goal, to believe in yourself even when it's hard. Every small choice adds up, and those choices shape your future. Don't wait for the perfect time, start today. There will never be a moment when everything feels easy or certain. The perfect time is a myth. The real magic happens when you start, even if you're scared or unsure. Take one small step, throw out one junk food, clear out just one shelf, or make one healthy swap. It doesn't have to be huge. The smallest action can be the spark that lights a fire of change. Drink water instead of soda, go for a walk, or choose a nourishing meal. Celebrate these moments. That's your first victory, and it's proof that you can do this. I did it, and I'm no different from you. I started with doubts, fears, and a lot of uncertainty, but I took that first step, and then another, and slowly, things began to change. I had doubts and struggles, but I made a promise and followed through. There were days I wanted to quit, but I kept going. You can do this. You are stronger than you think, and you are not alone. I believe in you, now believe in yourself. Let the support of others lift you up, but remember, the most important belief is the one you hold about yourself. Make the promise, take the first step. Write it down, say it out loud, or share it with a friend. Commit to yourself, even if it's just for today. Your new life is waiting. It's not somewhere far away, it starts right here, right now with the choice you make today. Let's go get it, together.